Making this beautiful Waney edge bench is easy with just a few basic hand tools. The kit consists of prime grade kiln dried French oak. The legs and the top are ready cut to length, and you will also be supplied with contrasting black walnut blanks for the pegs and the wedges. I use this curved blade roughing plane for preparing the boards. First plane across the grain to flatten the timber. Then, using a much finer set or a smoothing plane, go down the length of the grain for the final finish. Next, shape and smooth the edges. Cut and shape the ends of the top to match the sides. Next, take the stretch piece and mark the square edge to follow the shape of the Waney edge. Cut this with a jigsaw or a bandsaw. Then round and smooth using a spoke shave and abrasive paper. Next, mark the position of the legs on the underside of the top. These should be about 300mm in. Check that they sit flat to the underside. Adjust as necessary. We now need to calculate the length of the stretcher. This would normally be about 18–30mm long. Mark and cut to length. Next, mark the shoulders of the tenons. The length of the tenon is about 130mm. Do this on a flat surface to make sure both marks are in line. Then, using a straight piece of timber about 100mm wide, mark the sides of the tenons. This will ensure that both tenons are parallel to each other. Cut the tenons as accurately as possible using a jigsaw or a tenon saw. Using the legs and the black walnut blank as a guide, mark out the position and size of the mortise on the tenon. It should be about 20mm long. Carefully cut this with a drill and a jigsaw and finish square with a chisel. Next, mark a centre line on the legs and once again mark the position of the mortise. This should be about 4 inches or 100mm up from the bottom. Cut this with a jigsaw, or for a more accurate result, use a router and a template. Test fit each mortise and tenon and make any necessary adjustments. These should fit easily and snugly together. Assemble the bench and then mark and cut the wedges. These will be about 125mm long and taper from 15 to 25mm. Very gently tap the wedges into place. The wedges should sit central to the tenon. Plane the back of the wedge to adjust as necessary. Mark the top of the bench for the counterbores. These should be about 20mm deep and drilled using a 13mm Forstner bit. Fix the top of the bench to the legs with the screws provided. Cut the 13mm square black walnut pegs to about 2 inches long and trim the ends to a bevel, as we're going to be banging a square peg into a round hole. Trim these just proud of the surface using a tenon saw. Then, using a sharp chisel, bevel edge down, chisel the tops of the pegs to an attractive pyramid shape. For indoor use, the bench can be finished with Pollux oil, or use Osmo clear oil if the bench is going to be placed outdoors. This bench can easily seat 5 slightly overweight adults. Enjoy making the bench, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.